Morning and welcome to the news review segment of the Power Breakfast Show. This morning, it's my pleasure to introduce on the set Wakili Kamodo Waiganja. Good morning, Wakili.
Morning. Good to be here.
I also have with me Mr. Mohamed Shabal. Mr. Mohamed Shabal is aspiring to be Governor of Mombasa County.
Morning.
Morning, Mr. Mohamed Shabal. And also together with us in the studio this morning is Isiolo Deputy Governor Mohamed Gulaid.
Yes.
Good morning and welcome. How is Isiolo?
Chairman of Chama cha Mashinani.
Chairman of Chama cha Mashinani.
Yes.
The new kid on the block.
Wow.
The new member of the Pentagon.
The new member of the Pentagon.
So, very quickly, did you come by air from Isiolo to Nairobi?
No, I was here because of yesterday's function.
No, for yesterday's function. Did you come by air?
Actually, before that I came from the UK on Wednesday evening. So I was not actually from Isiolo.
I'm actually asking if Isiolo International Airport is up and running.
Still not up and running.
Why not?
We don't know why. You know, it's not within the county government's prerogative. National airports, or all airports under the Kenya Airports Authority. And so I understand they have completed it. And even the president opened it a few months ago. But probably there are other issues that are making it not to be opened. For example, lack of availability of enough water. Airports need huge amounts of water to be able to run, and I think they need some few clearances because it's an international airport. Maybe clearances from international organizations that deal with the issues of civil aviation. So maybe very soon we should be able to fly into Isiolo without much difficulty.
Quite interesting because it's a very well built facility.
Yes.
All right, these are the gentlemen with whom we'll be looking at the papers today. What we have at the Business Daily on the front page is shareholder awards rock planned sale of Zuku TV as Matiang'i launches a trial of plan to replace the 844 education curriculum. You remember there's the pilot program that is supposed to kick off in 470 schools across the country. We'll be looking at that in details in the other dailies. The Standard has a splash about return of Pentagon. NASA's major announcement, opposition top brass now welcome a fifth principal, your party leader, and declare that the joint presidential candidate and series of actions will be unveiled at a massive rally at Uhuru Park on Thursday, 27th next week. Together with that, on the Jubilee side, this is a big day, the decision day. Remember, it's today and tomorrow. We already have reports from Kiambu, from Eldoret, from Nandi about the exercise being underway in most of those places. The Daily Nation has a story about NASA also. At last, NASA has a power sharing deal. It's not explicit exactly what the power sharing deal is all about. They say they're going to talk about it on Thursday next week. But their followers were a bit disappointed from the stories we have in the papers because they expected this team to be named yesterday. President Uhuru Kenyatta also had a press conference where he issued a stern warning against anybody who will plan to cause chaos during the Jubilee Party primaries. As well, like in the Business Daily, the Nation has a story about the 844 on its last days as schools test new system beginning next term, which is the month of May. Now, gentlemen, I'll start with you, Chairman.
Yes.
Why the resolve to join NASA?
The reason why we've joined NASA is Chama cha Mashinani shares many ideological concepts with the NASA. Most important to us, of course, as Chama cha Mashinani, is the defense for devolution, the devolved system of government. And in their manifesto and in their policy now, we have seen they have adopted what we long advocated for, particularly increasing of the shared revenue to the counties to at least 45% of the national budget. So that attracts us as a party. We have not seen that with other parties. And secondly, also frankly, NASA has been much more aggressive also in seeking partnership and much more welcoming, let me say. If you will have watched yesterday's event, was one of its kind.
Does it mean they have been trying to lure you people?
Not really, but they have given us all indications of willingness to work with us. The partnership that I think is based on equality, on equal access to all, decision-making processes. So it gives us also the avenue as a party to have a stake that we find enough for us to be able to say that we are equal partners. We did not see that maybe coming up, even if we were to join in other parties.
I will find out from Wakili Kamodo Waiganjo in a short while the implications of this, but up to then they did not see enough from your side to lure them into partnering with you.
Oh, absolutely not. And I'm surprised at what my good friend, the Deputy Governor, you know, I follow his articles and very good analysis, but the whole NASA lineup is just it's an exercise in deception. And I'm telling you, by next week we're going to see it, because Kalonzo has been promised the presidency by Raila. They have an MOU to that effect. Mudavadi has been promised the same thing.
What was the MOU?
The MOU was that Kalonzo was going to be the presidential candidate in 2017. I have a bet with Kalonzo that they will not give it to him, and I'm 100% sure they'll not give it to him. The same thing with Mudavadi. So this whole thing is an exercise in semantics. And my friend says this is an equal partnership. There's no such thing as an equal partnership in that lineup. It's one giant and the rest are just runners along. And you're going to see it very soon. I think the entire... And let's not forget that we've seen this before with even stronger politicians. All of them were in there. NASA is a duplication of the Pentagon. What happened to the Pentagon?
Actually, they said at last they have a power sharing deal, and the standard says return of the Pentagon.
There is no power sharing deal. This is just a collection of people who are deceiving themselves. This is Raila going to steal the whole thing and run away with it.
So you're saying NASA is about one giant and other smaller parties?
And the rest.
What about Jubilee?
Jubilee is a partnership of all parties across Kenya.
They're equal.
We're all equal. And we all bring in equal value to the table, and we all joined in there because we believe we can chart a common destiny for this country. I was part and parcel of that steering committee that put together the thinking behind Jubilee, and I believe that that we have a say in that party. We absolutely have a say in that party.
Did you also have a say in the formation of NASA? Because you seem so sure that they are just one person, and
I was not.
Or you
I
think?
was not. I'm not in the NASA brigade, but I have been party to, and I've had a good relationship with Musalia Mudavadi, with a good relationship with Kalonzo. I was in Wiper before, and the reason I left is I could see clearly where the direction was.
Okay.
And I'm willing to bet that by next Thursday we're going to be here. Raila is going to be appointed presidential candidate, and you'll have a lot of falling out. Our people in Mombasa, the Kamba community in Mombasa is very clear that what's going to happen. We're waiting for Thursday. Kalonzo is not going to be presidential candidate. Mudavadi is not going to be presidential candidate. And then we'll see the fallout.
So your people in Mombasa, before I come to you, Wakili, they are waiting. What are they waiting for?
The Kamba community is almost 99% certain Kalonzo is going to be betrayed again. And we'll tell them, we told you.
And?
Leave this nonsense aside, come back to Jubilee, let's join together, let's take government.
So it's all about communities?
It's not just about communities, it's about...
But you just said, I'm surprised you didn't say the Mijikenda community, the Bajuni community.
The Mijikenda community is not 100% in NASA. A large portion of Mijikenda community is moving into Jubilee.
So are you saying
if
the Kamba community
if you look at
is 100% in NASA?
No, that's precisely what I'm saying. The Kamba community believes, or has been led to believe, that they are going to get the presidency through NASA. It's not going to happen. You're going to see another betrayal all over again.
All right, Wakili, you can hear politicians talking.
Yeah, well, that's expected. And I think let's talk about what was different yesterday and what was a good thing for NASA. If you look at the coalition until yesterday, it was largely the same team that came against Uhuru Kenyatta and William Ruto in 2013.
Yeah, 3 out of 4.
Yeah, so the addition of, I mean, I'm talking about the significant players.
That's what I'm saying.
If you look, the addition of Isaac Ruto, even in terms of both semantics and in terms of the view from the public, a perspective, it's probably the one different thing from 2013. whether Isaac Ruto has the capacity to bring in sufficient numbers from Rift Valley to the NASA basket is something we'll wait and see. And I think the issue,
hypothetically, does he?
I think the only,
in a section of the press he claims that I'm bringing in 1.5 million.
I think there are very few people, there are very few politicians in this country who move around with their communities wherever they go. There are very, very few, and you can name them. You know, there are very, very few. Others will let you go, and especially because when they look at it, they say, what's our stake in this new arrangement? So that's going to be a challenge for Isaac Ruto. What is it? Because he's still the governor candidate. There is nothing else that NASA is giving at this point. Is giving him at this point, but we don't know. They say they have a power sharing deal. I'd like to give them the benefit of the doubt. I don't want to be a skeptic and assume that everything will collapse next week. I want to give them the benefit of the doubt. What I find amazing is when you talk about ideology, when a deputy governor, the truth of the matter is that none of these parties are committed to their written memorandums.
Our party politics in Kenya is still not about
and let me tell you why I say that. If you look at CORD says they're very committed to devolution and the 45% share of revenue to the counties. If you look at the discussions in Parliament, both in the Senate and the National Assembly, you did not see CORD pushing for 45%. Because remember that nowadays the question of sharing of revenue is decided actually in Parliament. It's decided in the Senate. You did not see that CORD took a 45% position and was defeated by Jubilee. The reality is that the same fight between senators and governors, which made many senators actually want to deny money to the government, reflected itself equally in CORD as it did in Jubilee. So the question of ideology is not a big issue. I think where I find the deputy governor honest is where he says they find that they have more a bigger stake in terms of the respect and the way they have been treated when they're being called into NASA. I think it is more the differences between the politics of Rift Valley and the challenges between Isaac Ruto and the Jubilee leadership, particularly the deputy president, that is informing the movement to NASA, as opposed to ideology and as opposed to a question of
more personal differences.
Personal and political differences, you know, where you say, if I stay in this place, I'm going to be prejudiced. I have more space in that area in terms of being able to pursue my politics.
Your take on the position by Mheshimiwa Shabal here about he appears like a naysayer. There's nowhere that
a realist.
A realist.
I'd like to give them the benefit of the doubt. There is still time. There is still time, and I think the pragmatists in the party will probably realize that if they don't stick together, they're going to be defeated. So the only question to determine whether they want to be defeated together, you want to have a chance of winning together or to be defeated separately. And the pragmatists will make that determination. I think the challenge for NASA is going to be, even if there's a power sharing deal, will each of those candidates, with the nature of the arrangement, excite their constituencies sufficiently to ensure the turnout that will enable them to win. Because remember, this country, we talk about tyranny of numbers. It's actually a tyranny of turnout. It's actually more of a turnout. So if you have an arrangement that does not guarantee you significant turnout, then that arrangement will not deliver you victory. Remember that also, if NASA looks powerful enough, actually what it will also do in the Jubilee strongholds is that it will also increase turnout. So it's not necessarily a negative thing also for Jubilee, because if you have two strong parties, then what you will have is a lot of
everybody
people
gives their all.
Everybody gives their all. So ultimately the result will be a better reflection of the will of the people, of the will of the people, as opposed to when there is a low turnout because people are discouraged. So it's not a bad thing if you have a strong opposition.
Well, then we'll be picking it up when we come back after this short commercial break. Right after that, and I do want to know from Mheshimiwa Mohamed Gulaid, Chairman Chama Mashinani, what exactly your party has been offered, because there is power sharing. So what part of the power are you getting? Right after this.